The town of Ridgefield had a secret it never talked about, an amusement park that once stood proudly at the edge of town. Luna Park. For years it was the center of laughter, light, and joy. But that all ended one summer night when a fire consumed half the park. No one ever truly knew how it started. Some said it was faulty wiring, others whispered it was something else, something older. 2 decades later, Luna Park stood in ruin. The once vibrant Ferris wheel now loomed against the skyline like a skeleton, creaking whenever the wind blew through its rusted joints. The carousel horses were frozen mid-gallop, their painted eyes dulled and cracked. Faded posters still clung to the ticket booths, peeling away like old skin. Most locals avoided the area altogether. They said strange sounds came from the park at night, music, laughter, and sometimes crying. But for a group of thrill-seekers looking to make their mark online, that only made it more tempting. Mia was the ringleader, bold, loud, and obsessed with her growing YouTube channel. Her friends, Jake and Lila, were along for the ride. Jake, cautious and practical, often found himself dragged into Mia's wild ideas. Lila, curious but easily scared, was always the voice of reason that no one listened to until it was too late. When Mia suggested exploring the abandoned Luna Park for their next Haunted Places vlog, Jake said no immediately. But Mia knew how to twist his arm. "Come on," she said with that grin she always used when she wanted something. "It's perfect." We go at night, get a few creepy shots, pretend to see a ghost or two, and boom, viral. Jake hesitated. "Places like that are dangerous. The structures are falling apart." "Exactly," Mia said. "The more dangerous it looks, the better the thumbnail." Lila's voice was soft. "People died there, Mia." Mia shrugged. "All the more reason to tell their story." By midnight, their car pulled up near the chain-link fence surrounding Luna Park. The no trespassing signs were faded and half-torn. The gates hung open just enough for them to slip through. Their flashlights flickered across the cracked pavement, illuminating bits of old confetti and scraps of forgotten joy. Inside, the silence was heavier than they expected. The wind carried faint echoes through the empty park, like the ghosts of laughter that refused to fade. "This place is massive," Jake muttered. "Yeah," Mia whispered, panning her camera around. "And it's all ours tonight." They wandered through the main walkway, past food stalls that had long since collapsed. A faded sign above the entrance to a ride read, "The Tunnel of Dreams." Its archway was blackened from fire, and the boats were overturned and rusting in the shallow, stagnant water below. Lila kept glancing around nervously. "Do you hear that?" she asked. Jake stopped walking. "Hear what?" "That music." At first there was nothing, then faintly through the wind, it came. A carousel tune, distant and off-key, like it was being played on an old, broken music box. Mia smiled. "This is gold." She started walking toward the sound. Jake called after her. "Mia, wait." "That's not possible. There's no power here." "Then how's it playing?" Lila whispered. The carousel stood in the center of the park, just where the music led them. Its colors had long faded to shades of rot and rust, but it was unmistakably turning. Slowly, each horse bobbed up and down as if invisible riders were clinging to them. "Holy crap," Mia said, raising her camera. "This is amazing." "Stop recording," Jake hissed. "We need to go." Mia ignored him and stepped closer. The carousel lights flickered, casting long, dancing shadows across the cracked pavement. Lila grabbed Jake's arm. "We shouldn't be here." Then, from the far end of the park, a light blinked on. It came from the old control cabin, a small building that once managed the park's electrical systems. The window glowed a faint orange, like a dying ember. Without waiting, Mia headed for it. "If someone's here, maybe they turned the power on." Jake sighed and followed. Or maybe we're about to meet the reason people say this place is cursed. Inside the cabin, dust covered everything. Cobwebs hung from the ceiling like drapes. A control panel sat in the center, littered with buttons and switches. Most were broken or fused with rust, except one. A single red button labeled Main Power. Mia brushed the dust away. "Should I press it?" Jake groaned. "No, please." "Don't." But Mia was already smiling. "You're no fun." Before Jake could stop her, she pressed the button. A deep hum rolled through the ground. Lights across the park flickered on one by one, buzzing to life like something awakening from a long sleep. The Ferris wheel groaned. The carousel sped up slightly. And then came the laughter. It started faintly, as though from far away. A single giggle, then another. Within seconds, dozens of overlapping voices filled the air, high, cheerful, and horribly wrong. Lila screamed, "Turn it off!" Mia slammed the button again, but nothing happened. The hum grew louder, and a low static crackled through the air, like an invisible storm. Then the lights began to flicker faster, every bulb in the park flashing in unison. And over it all, a voice echoed through the loudspeakers, faint but unmistakable. "Welcome back to Luna Park." The voice was distorted, half static, half human. But the tone, mockingly cheerful, made the blood in their veins turn to ice. Mia backed away from the console. "That's not funny," Jake whispered. "That wasn't me." The laughter swelled again, now closer. Too close. It seemed to come from all around them, behind the rides, beneath the floorboards, inside the walls. They ran. Their flashlights swung wildly through the darkness, cutting across shattered rides and empty stalls. They turned a corner and stumbled into the funhouse. Broken mirrors lined the hallway, reflecting their movements in 1,000 distorted ways. The air inside was cold, unnaturally so. Each breath turned to mist. Lila whimpered, "It's colder in here." "Do you feel that?" Jake nodded, gripping her hand tightly. "Just keep moving." Mia trailed behind, still holding her camera, her breath trembling. The lens caught something, a shape flickering between mirrors, moving opposite to their direction. She froze. "Jake, one of them isn't us." He turned. "What?" Mia pointed. "Look." In the far mirror, her reflection was standing still. Its eyes were darker. Its smile wrong. Jake took a step forward, and the reflection tilted its head, but in the opposite direction. Then, slowly, it began to move toward the glass. The mirror rippled. Mia screamed. The reflection's hand broke through the surface like it was water, shards of glass spraying out. The thing's skin was pale, its eyes hollow and black. Jake grabbed Mia and pulled her out of the hallway as the laughter returned, echoing, overlapping, surrounding them. Outside, the park was alive. The rides were moving. The Ferris wheel turned steadily, though no one sat inside. The carousel spun at full speed now, the horses' painted mouths seeming to laugh with every rotation. "Mia," Lila shouted, "we have to go." But Mia wasn't listening. Her camera was aimed at the Ferris wheel, where something had caught her eye, a figure at the top, swaying gently in the wind. It was wearing a faded clown costume, its head tilted slowly downward as though it was looking right at them. The voice returned through the speakers. "Don't be afraid. The fun is just beginning." Mia dropped the camera. "Run!" They sprinted toward the exit, but the gates were gone. The pathway stretched endlessly in both directions, looping back into the park. Lila fell to her knees, sobbing. "It won't let us leave." Then, one by one, the lights began to shut off. The laughter died down until only silence remained. The carousel stopped spinning. The Ferris wheel halted mid-turn. Jake looked around, breathing hard. Is it over? But the park had one more trick to play. A single spotlight flicked on, illuminating the carousel. Mia was sitting on one of the horses, her head bowed, her hair covering her face. "Mia," Jake whispered. She didn't answer. He stepped closer, his heart pounding. "Mia, come on, we have to—" She lifted her head. Her face was pale as wax, her lips stretched into a smile far too wide. Her eyes were empty. And when she spoke, it wasn't her voice. "Welcome to Luna Park," she said softly. "Would you like to ride?" The carousel began to spin again, faster and faster, lights blurring into a whirl of color and shadow. Jake tried to reach her, but an unseen force pulled him back, dragging him toward the funhouse. Lila screamed his name, but the air swallowed the sound. When the morning came, Luna Park was silent once again. The ride stood still. The lights were dark. The only sign of the three friends was a camera lying near the gate, its battery dead. But if you press play, you can still hear it, faint laughter in the background, growing louder with every second, until it cuts off abruptly. The people of Ridgefield say that sometimes, when the fog rolls in and the moon is high, the lights of Luna Park flicker to life again. You might see the carousel turning slowly, or hear the echo of children's laughter drifting through the night air. And if you ever follow that sound, if you ever step past the gates after midnight, they say you'll never come back, because Luna Park is still open, waiting for its next guests.